Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to a film about films of Video Peralta. I hope you enjoy it.
Video Peralta's illustrious career began in 2007 when he wrote and directed his viral hit comedy, Romeo and Juliet. After the modest success, he began to experiment. The following films are a filmmaker falling out of love with film and himself. We will start from the end as the beginning is the end. Pale Tree, along with its sister film Tree Pale, was originally written and storyboarded in 2005. This was before Video even had his first camera. He always took a long time with most things. I mean, it took him 14 years to get above 5 feet 5 inches. So this was not unusual for him to finish the film 6 years later. He called Pale Tree his passion project, but if you knew him, you knew he was erratic on set. Originally there were 2 actors hired, but Video found them to be inadequate for the role, and like most of his films, he casted himself in the lead role. He kept repeating in his instructions that this was a journey. This is where it ends. He repeated this when he became frustrated with the rising problems of budget and weather conditions. It became a mantra for the crew, and he got a tattoo when the film concluded of the words, "It ends. Here is where the X belongs on the map." Granted, such a large proclamation on skin looked a bit ridiculous, but you knew he felt a release when he looked at the colored flesh. Video's 4th favorite poem of his friends is a piece called LUB by Manny. It goes, LUB exists for no man. I felt the bones in her toe jam. How does it feel to slow dance? How do you feel when I prance around in stockings, inviting you to a party and engage with you in petty arguments? So why does it matter? Can you explain to me the purpose of our existence being supported by matter? I'm sorry, I think I was absent in class that day. Me apologies for failing you. Through the mist there is a crease above your eyebrow, a mountain hidden by hair follicles and skin particles. The way the images go to a contrast of dark and light, not quite black and white. The sparkle of sight fill the sky, and below it sits houses you've mended. Upon those nights you can't sleep, you remind me of veggies full of satin and laughter. Silk for the sadder kind, but you are that bubblegum stuck below the planks of wood so as to keep the kennels together. I wish to see them topple, not to experience your failure, instead to understand the options of your opinions. There's cracks below you eyelid, I just hope they don't prevent you from seeing the skyline you've constructed from memory. I hear the cobblestone march through the peat reflecting upon my palm. She calls for my arms and I whisk away my flower into the dusk, supplementing discussions instead of cause this evening I feel more like calling to the stable hand and asking for the raspy croon to coo my girl into a cozy coma, and letting the coconut spoil upon first touch. You know, fruits don't have to be symbolic, they can just be forms of nourishment, like how good music can feel just like good beyond the ears, and my mittens aren't mixing the cattle of kittens into the kettle. I'm swishing canteens of whiskey until dawn's heart breaks. Yet we don't want erosion upon this land. I'm sorry for the crassness, just if I could play brass or woodwind, you might actually care what my words said. Instead you're focusing on the mistakes of my sins. Video's previous film was the sister film called Tree Pale. Video considered this film to be his magnum opus and hated making every minute of this film. The only non-existing file of this film is on an adult film site. Instead of weather issues plaguing this film, it was unruly cast members and the destruction of sets made this film more minimalistic. He cut the second and third acts and instead created a solo film of his beginning existential crisis, which would lead him to becoming the recluse we know him as now. The fact that he could not control the sets of his films discouraged him in believing he had a future in the business. On the set of Tree Pale was when he began to find that he enjoyed improv instead of the structured style he has worked with up until then. The previous storyboards he had written in 2005 were thrown out. After the second day, he took the storyboards that were distributed in pre-production away from the crew and burned them in a scene that was eventually lost in post-production. He demanded to take 50 takes of each scene, so he had a wide variety of quote-unquote perfection to choose from in the editing room. Each scene was always sparked by something that was happening to video in the moment, and some scenes just had him crying and refusing to continue with the shooting. Some did not know if this was the character or video himself self-deconstructing before them. Video's favorite poem from his friend Swan goes like this: sweeter than Caroline, I tasted it in your hairline. I hope you feel some type of way and smile, 'cause I'd be lying if I said I didn't dig your soiled shorts and the way you distort the truth, 'cause it's nice to feel like a foil to your ego. I want you to be able to find happiness one day, 'cause I know I'm struggling to find the horizon tonight. Your skin is fluorescent with the lack of light lamps in our enigmatic lives, illuminating the pathway as we stumble through the opening in the chain link, lingering because it's easier than allowing the effects of loneliness to crowd my existence, 'cause just because you think doesn't make you intelligent. It's the neuroses attacking my confidence, and it's simple 'cause I've done it since I was little in overalls circa 2000 as a zillion globs of jelly fill my palm, and I serve it to the ones without a hymn or song, 'cause I'm capable of infiltrating others' lives than my very own, make a nuisance of the sickness and hum to myself about humbleness so I don't get too cocky, 'cause I was when as a kid you wear pullover to cover your Oculus, acting so sensitive especially when the girls are around, but as a matter of the fact you know you're disturbed when you consider that she's better. Video's first avant-garde endeavor was the short film Sunset 3K. In the film he ate tres leches. He even composed the score on this film, as he would continue to do after this work. There is not much to comment on this film according to historians. Romeo and Julian is what brought Video Peralta to fame. In this popular web series, he deconstructs the queer identity from his point of view. This is his most accessible work, as he is not quite in his Kenneth Anger period quite yet. In this one episode of his 24-episode series, he explores the concepts of what love means in the modern day. The series is an homage to the silent films of the past and way for Peralta to introduce an unfamiliar sexuality to the genre. Queer themes rarely explored in silent films. Video's favorite poem from his best friend Ari goes like this: I wish you well on the bridge. Bring me a pillow full of your whims. I miss your broken falsetto that lays between my legs. I wish to find a lifetime full of sunshine with you at the bottom of this pit. Don't slip, don't slit, I promise it'll be worse.